Thank you, Sir Chair. My name is Jake Friedler from the California delegation. When you commit a crime, you can expect to be punished to the same extent as someone else who commits that same crime. Two people who are convicted of similar offenses should receive punishments that affect them both equally. Incarceration does a very good job of ensuring this. For two people sent to jail for 1 year are both serving 1 year of their lives at the exact same percentage of the average life expectancy. However, our system of fines is not providing this same fairness and equality that incarceration does. Let's say that Bob Billionaire and Minimum Wage Mike are both driving down the street when they each get pulled over. They were both going 15 miles per hour over the speed limit, and they're both given the same $200 speeding fine. For Minimum Wage Mike, this fine is rough. He only makes a couple $100s a week, and he has to be more careful in the future because he knows that he cannot afford another ticket. On the other hand, Bob Billionaire has no problem paying off his fine. With his enormous salary, a $200 speeding ticket is nothing. He can continue speeding, knowing that even if he gets caught, his punishment will have little consequence on his life. So what we have is two men who committed the same crime on the same day, yet only one is punished harshly enough that he is actually deterred from committing the crime again. The other is hardly punished at all. That simply does not make sense. Our nation should institute premiums on top of all city and state fines that are based on both the income of the perpetrator and the size of the base fine. This surcharge would be collected along with the base fine, but would eventually end up in the treasury of the federal government. In effect, the rich pay more and the poor pay less, but everyone pays proportionally to how much they make. Most European nations already use this system, and in Finland, Sweden, Germany, Switzerland, Denmark, and Norway, these fines are usually used as a substitute for incarceration because they are so effective at deterring the people that receive these fines. These fines based on income already are collected in a number of US counties, and studies done on these jurisdictions show that penalizing people based on how much they make is a beneficial concept. These fines have been shown to lower the rate of repeat offenses in counties where they exist, but they also increase the rate of collection, meaning more people are paying these fines and at a quicker rate because they now take their fines seriously. This proposal also opens up a new stream of revenue worth several tens of billions of dollars and possibly hundreds of billions of dollars to the federal government, which is in an ailing economic state. Bail already operates under a system that is similar to the one this proposal aims to create. The bail needed to get somebody out of jail is set up so that it's based on that offender's ability to pay. For if it was set at a flat rate, like fines are today, it would be far too easy for the wealthy criminals to post bail and free themselves just because they make more money. The longer we take to implement an income-based system on all fines across the nation, the longer we are allowing the super rich to get away with their crimes over and over and over again, and they don't have to feel bad about it. It's time Bob Billionaire learned his lesson the same way Minimum Wage Mike did. Let's make it so that next time he has a reason to think twice before he goes 60 in the 45 zone and puts other people's lives in danger. Thank you. I yield the remainder of my time to my summation.
Lauren Hoffman from New Jersey. Thank you, Sir Chair. This proposal should not be passed because it's contradictory. Its aim is to ensure equity and equality for all. However, its actions do just the opposite. We have all heard the quote, "If you can't do the time, don't do the crime." Well, why don't we make it, "If you can't pay the fine, don't do the crime." A crime is a crime just the same and should merit equal punishment no matter who commits it, no matter how much their income. If we allow the poor to pay smaller fines than the rich, we are asking for a greater division between the classes, increasing bitterness of the poor toward the rich and the burden of the rich of the poor. Equity means the state quality or ideal of being just, impartial, and fair. Just because a person of higher socioeconomic status commits a crime does not mean they should receive a larger penalty than those who have a lesser income. Higher fines for crimes such as traffic and moving violations are incentive for all to mind the law. I'd like to leave you with a few points. So poor people have options. They can pay in installments. I know in New Jersey that's the case. Also, all fines can be prevented. The current fines in place encourage citizens to assess the risk. If they choose to break the law, if they choose to speed, and if they choose not to put a quarter in their parking meter, then they assume the chance of being caught. Ticket fines are also public knowledge and are published online for every state, so that everyone is aware of the fine for the crime that they have the excessive risk to take. Also, a person's salary is private information, and a police officer has no right to find that out. The process of expediting ticket process would become extremely slow. For example, I was pulled over a week ago. Yeah, I was speeding. And my ticket took 5 days to find the fine. And it wasn't even based on my income. I don't work, I don't have an income. How would they find that information? Also, this would increase profiling. So you see a man driving down the street in a nice Mercedes, which would mean a larger fine, so would he be more likely to be pulled over? That's not just. Come on, we're all familiar in New Jersey with Cayley's Law, which makes you have a little sticker in the middle of your license plate if you are 17. And that has led to so many profiling cases of cops pulling teens over just because they're more vulnerable. Let's not make that mistake on the federal level. Thank you, I yield my time.
Thank you, Sir Chair. Destiny Pichetti, Massachusetts delegation.
Hold on for 1 moment. You may proceed.
I'd like to reserve my right to yield the remainder of my time to the author's closing summation.
That is your right.
The intent of fines is to prevent the repetition of a perpetrator's actions. If a fine for something is so minute for one person, there is every reason to pay them a minuscule amount and go back to repeat their actions yet again, whereas the lower income perpetrator will be paying a substantial amount compared to their financial situation. This is a completely unjust system. By implementing income-based federal premiums on all fines, we will successfully achieve the initial goal of the fine, prevention. It is completely and totally immoral and unfair that we will be holding people of completely different lifestyles and financial situations to the same standards. If Bill Gates is speeding and gets a $500 fine, this would have absolutely no impact on him because he has so much money. Now, if a single mom who has recently been laid off and has little money and a low income speeds and gets a $500 fine, she is going to have extreme difficulties paying this, and it is highly unlikely she will reoffend. Bill Gates can speed as much as he wants, carefree due to the fact that he has so much money. Now, if Bill Gates' fine was income-based, he would be paying so much more, and it would actually have an impact on him. The likelihood of him now speeding again is much less likely. With this new system, the goal of prevention would have a much better chance of being implemented. This proposal not only benefits the people of America, but it would greatly impact our economy as well. Rather than having a standardized fine for all people, a percentage of offenders' income would provide for more money to our government. Not only is this the morally and just decision, but it is the most logical system to help improve our ever-degrading economy. Thank you. I yield the remainder of my time to the office closing speech.
Thank you, Chair. Hinton from the great state of Oklahoma. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to remember that justice is blind. This is the land of America. We are equal in all rights, in all ways, and I yield the rest of my time to Delegate Krebs.
Thank you, Delegate. You got 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Krebs, Oklahoma. Thank you, Sir Chair. It is not the duty or the right of justice to deeply scrutinize the individual. Its only job is to look at the law, look at the crime or scenario, and make a judgment based on what the law says. Justice should be objective, as objective as possible, for it to truly be called justice. It is not justice if it too deeply analyzes the situation. Imagine two rapists. We know that one will live to be 90, and we also know that the other will only live to be 70. Do we sentence the one who will live to be 90 to 20 extra years in prison? Illogical, isn't it? Laws are meant to apply to everyone. Don't think of these as fines. Think of them as punishments, as with the sentencing example I gave above. A $200 fine has the same value to everyone, $200. $200 does not change its value whether it's in a billionaire's hand or my hand, and I happen to be fairly poor. The punishment should stem from the crime, not the individual. Thank you.